Here is a list of the music that's been playing in my raid stream for the last week. Rebecca Black, Friday. The Pokemon theme song. Rick Astley. And K-pop, and more K-pop. Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 22. And today's topic is no flying in Warlords of Draenor. Lots of debate to be had. But first up, let me reference my intro that was talking about my raid stream. Been having lots of fun doing that on most nights that I'm streaming. So that's Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday because I've been doing an alt run on my Paladin, which is kind of cool, getting him some experience and doing some stuff. So check it out, and as referenced by the intro, there's actually a song request type system, so you can troll me with all your awesome music, just like my guildies have been doing and random other people have been doing. So check it out at twitch.tv/getterraid. I'll link it in the description and in the annotations. So, back to the main topic. Flying in Warlords of Draenor. You can't do it, and you might not get to do it for quite a bit of time. There's some hints about that. But first up, if you don't know the topic, essentially, Blizzard is not going to allow you to get on a flying mount and just hop around the questing zones. And the big change is that even at level 100, once you get to max level, you still won't be able to do it. So, let's review quickly what sort of the history of this topic has been over the years. Back in Vanilla, obviously there was no flying. Burning Crusade, I think, was introduced pretty early on. And it was kind of crappy because it was like 40% speed, so it was even slower than being on the ground. But anywho, it was certainly convenient and loved by all. Well, I don't know. I was a Wrath baby, so I don't know how it felt back then. Now, come Wrath of Lich King, essentially what happened was you were on your ground mount through all of your leveling experience, you got to level 80, and then you could fly. And then for any alts that you had, you could purchase a flight manual for them, and they could get the flight manual, I think, level 77, maybe? And you could give that to them, and then they could, finish off their experience pretty quickly at the end there. So, that was Wrath. Cataclysm, because the zones were all within the continent that you were already used to flying in, flying was just allowed straight up first day of the expansion. And that we'll get back to that in a bit, kind of was some of the downfall of the leveling experience in Cata, but anywho, in Mists, when you got into Mists, into Pandaria, you certainly were roaming around in your ground mount all the way until you hit level 90, and then you were able to fly after you hit level 90. A little change from the Wrath experience was that your alts still had to go through the whole leveling experience, and there was no, shortcut for them. There's a cool cat in the background. Yay, I got my cat quotient for the day. Anywho, so that was the Pandaria experience. Your alts sort of had to suffer through all the way to level 90 in order to fly. There was no shortcuts. So the Warlords experience is no flying during questing, which, as we've seen with Wrath and Mists, is not something that's a huge deal. It's sort of a pain when you had to do it for your alts in whatever ways, but anywho, the difference is in Draenor, you're not going to be able to fly even when you hit max level. Sucks, huh? So, concerns have been certainly raised about, is this going to slow down the leveling experience? Is this going to slow down the game at level 100? And yeah, that's certainly a concern. One thing that they already said in this blog post about flying in Draenor that just came out a day or so is that they're going to fix up flight paths. So that's a good thing. They don't want flight paths to be taking you over here and then over down to here and up to here when you could have just gone from here to here or whatever. They're going to make them more direct, and they're going to be looking for beta testers to tell them if they've gotten that right. So, that's a good thing. They don't want you to feel like it takes you forever to get somewhere. But certainly flight paths are things that are a mixed bag. You sort of feel like you're not in control of your character, which you're not. And so you don't feel like you're going there. You just feel like you teleported there and it took a minute or two to get there. So, that's good that they're making flight paths better. Bad that they're sort of relying on flight paths to make the game feel okay in terms of travel. So, let's talk about the example that they gave in the blog itself. They talked about, say, a quest to kill a leader, a king or something in a fortress. So, in the Draenor world, essentially you're riding around in your ground mount, you hop up to the castle, you hail the king and be like, hey, get out here, let me kill you. No, it wouldn't work like that. Essentially you see the guards at the front, or you can maybe sneak around in the back, or whatever. You have to make some choices there. Okay, you CC one guard and you kill the other one, and then you kill them both or whatever. Well, that raises alarms in the castle, possibly, or aggroes other mobs, and now you gotta work your way through to the throne room, and you're finally presented with the boss guy, you're the leader, you kill him, and maybe that triggers, oh, his elite guards were sleeping in the back room there, crap. Now you either have to kill them, or you have to run away from them, and off you go. In the flying world, if we had flying, essentially what Blizzard's saying is just about everyone would hop on their flying mount, drop down on the leader, kill him, hop up on their mount, run away from the guards, they're done, turn in quests, give me XP, off I go. Yeah. Just about everyone would probably do that. Unless you're like, really want to get the experience of storming the castle and everything. So, what this starts to identify is how people play the game based on the rules that they're presented. So if you can fly, and it's more convenient for you to get there and to get the quest done, you're probably going to do it that way. Why would you do it another way? Unless you're role-playing or you're whatever. If you can do it, you're probably going to do it. So, what does that mean? Well, it means they have to design things based on the fact that you can fly. I go back to the Cataclysm example of leveling. I was a weirdo, and I went to Vashir instead of going to Hyjal like I should have. So my experience, at least at the start of Cataclysm, wasn't too bad in terms of feeling like I was immersed in the world and all that other jazz, because I was in this water world, rolling around. Oh, takes me a while to get here, then I gotta do this, then I gotta do this. But if I had gone through the Hyjal experience, essentially that was, okay, here I am. Alright, flying to kill these golems for the first quest. Alright, now I fly down to here, drop in on the quest guys that I gotta get, turn that in, then I go over here, and it was a very up, down, flying, do, over here, over there. So that was a nice little gesture. I don't know. Anywho, that was the Hyjal experience, and people were like, yeah, I got through Hyjal. Okay, now I'm into Deep Home, and Deep Home, regardless of whether you went to Hyjal or Vashir, Deep Home was certainly designed around the ability to fly. You had to frickin' go up cliffs in order to complete quests and get to the top of here, and there's this cave way over here on the other side, and it was just like, yeah, you've got to be able to fly around in here. So that sort of sets you up for, all the go. same gestures. I love this. And you moved on to Oldham whenever you could. So, what did you remember about the Cataclysm leveling experience? That it was crappy? Did you remember Deep Home? Did you remember the cool architecture? Do you remember even what you did there? That's where Blizzard is saying they want these sort of memorable experiences. They want to guide you through the content. They want it to unwrap in front of you. All that kind of stuff. And you can't really have stuff progress slowly or progress in some meaningful manner if you're just able to hop around. So that's their main point. And here's some, I guess, backup towards that point. So I'm going to take you down the beginning of my memory lane of my World of Warcraft career. So I rolled a human paladin on, which dropped me into Elwyn Forest. We had some level 80 friends. Again, this was Wrath. So level 80 friends helping us get to where we needed to go. So my wife rolled a Night Elf Hunter, got there, and someone else rolled like an Undead, I think. And so we all started questing in the Elwyn Forest area. So what do I remember? I remember sitting at that first cathedral and going, oh wow, this is a pretty cool place. Sweet, okay, I got some quests to go get this thing. There's a paladin-specific quest here. Okay, I'm going to go do that, guys, while you do this. Gotta go kill these wolves in this cave. Okay, then we go here. And then, alright, now we've sort of exhausted this area. We're like level 4 or something now. Cool! Yeah. Alright, we're going to go hop to Goldshire. And, alright, some more quests here. Kill some stuff. Alright, we gotta go down to this mine, I guess. And, crap, we died. Okay, I guess we run back. Okay, alright, I'm rezzing. I died again. What the hell? There's like too much stuff here. What's going on? I don't, do we need to get bandages or something, guys? I don't know. Alright, we'll res again. Okay, I got like 2 of them dead. There's like 3 more on me. Come on. Dead again. Crap. So, take yourself out of my example now. Take a step back and realize that I have these very vivid memories of that first leveling experience in those zones. And I was wandering around on foot, going to Goldshire. It was really tough to escape from anything running around on foot. And we didn't know what we were doing. So yes, we died a lot. And it was very close whether my wife and I were going to continue to play, because that experience there was like, God, we must be terrible at this game. We're not going to get past level 6. Ugh. So we almost stopped right there. We did obviously persevere and, got to 80 and did our things and die, Lich King die, all that other jazz. But what I'm trying to illustrate is that was a fairly memorable experience, and it was like, because I was confined by the rules that were going on there, where I had to walk around, I had to do this, it reminded me of the area. And I remember going to Westfall after that, and I remember how big Westfall seemed. And then we got into Dead Mines, and we were like, oh my god, this is so freaking hard, how we've like wiped 10 times to different things, and oh my god, these are bosses? What do you do with these? Oh my, what? Again, a dungeon has a set of rules. Same with raids and battlegrounds and stuff. The set of rules are you can't fly. You sort of have to go on rails down a path and go here. Certainly there's some exploration, obviously, when you're talking questing zones and the like, but a dungeon sort of has these set of, you gotta go here and you can't skip over to this place. That's how it's set up. And many people certainly remember their dungeoning experiences and talk about, oh yeah, we had this guy down to 2% and we all died, but the mage ice blocked and dots killed him. And we were like, yeah, cool, we made the heroic dungeon in Cataclysm, because Cataclysm dungeons were really freaking hard for bug groups. Anywho, that's another matter altogether. But what I'm trying to get to is, people remember these things, and in essence, they're remembering that fun stuff, and again, the not so fun stuff that happens, and that keeps them coming back. That's certainly something that Blizzard wants to do, keep people coming back. So, that's the leveling experience part of it, and it's just to illustrate how rules sort of dictate how you play, and you play within those rules, and you'll certainly take whatever you can. Obviously, when I got a ground mount, I was zooming all around, thinking I was awesome sauce, and then when I got the level 40 mount, whatever that was, like 100% speed versus 40% speed, I don't know, whatever, I was like, oh my god, this is fast! and I got to Burning Crusade stuff, it was like, I can fly, oh yeah! But, anywho, I played within the rules, and I certainly tried to do things the most efficiently that I could, and if I had the option at level 6 to res my body and just fly up in the air and get away from this situation and then like regroup and stuff, maybe that would have been better, but I would have then been like, okay, I just need to drop down and kill these 2 guys, and that's it. Alright, and then I'm out of here. It would have changed the way I played the game at that point. So, that's the leveling experience, and it's just to illustrate how Blizzard can make memorable content. Well, at least it sets it up for them to make memorable content and memorable things and cool things and epic things for you to do. So, whether they do that or not is certainly something that we'll see in Draenor, but you know, some of that exploration stuff is just great for people. It might not be for others. Certainly, if you were thinking of that fortress example and you go, yeah, I'd just like to kill the leader, king guy, and get out of there so I can get my XP, so I can get to level 100, so that I can go PvP. Sure. Understood. Completely valid opinion. It's completely valid, because that's how you've experienced the game so far. And I myself am torn between wanting these, neat experiences along the way, but I also want to be level 100 so I can go raid, because I find raiding quite enjoyable. In fact, in Warlords, my goal is to get 2 level 100s in the first week and start gearing them out in dungeons and whatever else is available, so that they can both be available to raid the first week that raids come out. If you don't know, usually the expansion drops, at least this is what they've done for the past couple, the expansion drops, and then 1 week after that, the first set of raids, which would, I think, be normal and heroic in Warlords of Draenor, those first sets of raids are available, and then mythic of the raid would be available in the 3rd raid week, essentially. So the tip-top guilds essentially try to get geared up in that first week and get ready to raid that that second week, so that they possibly might be able to raid mythic, or at least the top content, in the 3rd week. So that's how it's rolled before. I don't know if it's going to be the same schedule. We'll see. They haven't given any indication that it's going to be much different. They have said that there's 2 raids, so the first raid will be out that first week, and then who knows when the second one will be out. We'll see. Probably a month or so, how they did Heart of Fear back in Miss. Anywho, we'll see. That's up to them. But what's, the big deal here, getting back to the point, is you may not want to have a leveling experience, or you may not even want to have an experience at level 100 that includes anything other than you raiding or PvPing or doing stuff that helps you with either of those activities. So, what am I talking about there? So, you're going to have your garrison, which, we had a couple shows back about all that jazz. Garrisons are going to be something you're doing. If you're into PvP, you're going to be going to, I think it's Asheran is the new zone. You're going to be going there and doing stuff. I don't know much about it yet. But you're going to be doing stuff there. But you might also be, gathering followers or wanting to complete zones, and there may be lots of treasures to find in the world, or there may be world events type stuff like Timeless Isle, where spawning of rares, or the pirate ship, or all that other jazz is happening. And you may be wanting to do that at level 100, but you can't do it by flying around. You have to take flight points, and then you have to hop on your ground mount and scurry about and find the stuff that you want to be doing. So that's going to be the big change. You can't just hop on, I'm going to go do Claxy dailies. Here I am. Alright, ground those out in 10 minutes. Done. It's not going to be like that. The experience at level 100 probably is going to feel a bit slower, even from the sense of experiencing the stuff, because flight points will usually go to major towns or major places in the zone, but if like you land here, they're not just going to have the world event happening right at the flight point. You're probably going to have to travel a little bit out of town to experience the stuff to figure out what's going on. So you're going to have to travel, and the traveling is going to be on ground mounts, and that opens you up to ganking, that opens you up to, getting aggro on some big elite spider that was just crossing the road, or just stuff like that can happen. And that's the stuff where people are going to possibly feel inconvenienced by, well, I just want to get over there to the PvP vendor because he's stuck in this castle type thing and there's no flight point there. So I flew into here, and on my way to the frickin' castle, I happened to aggro this pack of wolves or something, and they're chasing my ass down. They knocked me off my mount. Great, I'm going to have to fight these guys for 2 or 3 minutes and waste my time, when really I just wanted to get to the PvP vendor because my partner's waiting on me for arena and I needed to purchase my trinket. That's how it could stack up for people, and people could get mad, bro, about that type of experience. So certainly this experience in Warlords might not be for everyone in terms of how it's going to play out. We will see. There's certainly more that we will hear out of beta testing, which hasn't yet started. Certainly the alpha's going on. They've been, chunking out builds here and there, so we can see progress is being made. But we haven't been able to figure out how it's going to feel at level 100 to just hang out in the world and do stuff. And that's going to be critical. Now, going back to the leveling experience, one thing that may sort of, as I said, I'm going to try to get myself to level 100, gear up, get going. And that's going to come at the cost of me experiencing all of the content and even wanting to, do all the achievements in the areas and gather all the treasures or whatever there might be. And that's just me at this point. So I've made that sort of decision. Again, I sort of have to figure out if that's, what my guild is going to be doing. And that's one thing that you might want to look at. Depending on where you are with your guild and whatnot, you may want to find a guild that's going to sort of match what your pace is going to be. And unfortunately, that's going to be very hard because people sometimes are like, yeah, going level 100, quickly as possible. And then they are not there the first night, not there the second night. Oh, they're there on the third night. They didn't really like how it panned out. And now your buddy that you were counting on to be your main tank for dungeoning, he's not there. He's just not there. So certainly I'm not telling everyone to run out and change guilds, but you might want to sort of figure out where you're going to fit in terms of if you're into the rating, figure out where you're going to fit in that whole speed architecture, ranking, so to speak. Certainly people are going to want to be realm first and all that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, is your guild targeting to start raiding the first week that raids comes out, or the second, or even the third, or the fourth? Who knows? Maybe people are just like, yeah, we'll just, once we get 10 people at level 100, we'll start normal mode, or we'll start heroic, whatever we can do. That'll be cool, that's fine. Or maybe your guild is thinking, hey guys, we're starting the raid with whoever's leveled up to level 100. We're starting that second week of the expansion. Get there. Who knows? See what your guild is doing. Because that may, this is all about the leveling experience, but, so this is somewhat of an aside from the flying stuff, but you may this may work out for you okay that the flying thing is not there, because you want to slowly go through the content and, oh yeah, it took me an hour to get through that fortress, and I only ended up getting, a quarter of a level, but it was kind of cool. There was kind of story stuff, and I noticed all this cool art in there. Maybe that's your style. Maybe that's how you want to do it. And again, that's as valid as the guy who just wants to fly in, kill the leader, off he goes, gets his XP, so he can go into rated battlegrounds as soon as possible, go into raids as soon as possible, whatever. Both of those are certainly valid, and that's the tough part for Blizzard. They're going to have to balance this to please as many people as they can. Certainly you can't please everyone, and this may be the big sticking point for Draenor, because the big sticking point for like Pandaria was the daily quest grind. This may be the sticky thing that goes, yeah, that didn't work out for us. And what makes people even more nervous is that if this sort of works out and people are like, yeah, cool, that was cool, yeah, we couldn't fly around, but it didn't work. It worked out pretty well. Then maybe it's a couple more patches before you can fly in Draenor. Maybe 6.0 comes out and then the expansion's out, and then the next raid tier, 6.2 or something, that patches out, and you still can't fly. People would start to get a little weird about that. So, we'll see. One point to note is that one nice change they're doing, regardless of all of this flying stuff, is that any mounts that you have in the game are going to be usable on the ground. So, all those cloud serpents and all those proto drakes and all that cool stuff that you've gathered along the way, if you're a mount collector, you're going to be able to use them in Draenor, even if it's not officially a ground mount at this point. They're turning them all on to be so. So, good change there that'll, help a lot of other people out, because that would kind of suck if you got some really cool mount, like gladiator mount or something, and you couldn't use it because it's the only flying mount. So, anywho, just thought I'd mention that note, because that's some concerns that people have had. So anywho, this is about it for overrated number 22. Been talking about flying in Warlords of Draenor. There is no update for the Insane achievement. Essentially, I'm waiting for Dark Moon to start. I actually purchased a couple Dark Moon decks so I can turn them in when it comes time, just to make sure I make it. But that's about it for the Insane achievement. So that's all, and thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that other jazz. Really helps me out, helps my activity and the videos, and people get to watch them, and posts, and people get to talking. Certainly here's a subject that'll probably spawn a lot of comments, because people have a lot of very opinionated opinions about this one. So post them. Let's see them. Let's do it. Anywho, that's all, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.